objective of today's class is to share with you a unique meditation technique that empowers each one of you to heal yourselves, restore your body, mind, and emotions, and maintain a continuous state of well-being. This is the objective of today's class. Now, there are a lot of interesting dimensions to healing. So I have to split this class in 2 parts or maybe even 3, depending on how the knowledge flows. But definitely we're going to do part 1 today. I'm going to share the technique with you. In part 2, we're going to expand how we use it. Okay? So today is part 1. Now, let's start by refreshing what we have learned about meditation in our previous class, last class, and build further from there. So the question is, what is meditation? And I would say meditation is the synthesis of you and yourself. Meditation is the synthesis of you and yourself. Now, what is synthesis? What does it mean to you? Synthesis means to combine a number of different pieces into a whole. So, synthesis is about bringing everything together as one. Now, what is you? It is the person you are in the material consciousness, in this material world. The person that embodies good and bad, darkness and light, cruelty and mercy, that is you. You live in the material consciousness which is built by our thoughts at this material level. And that is you. Now, in previous classes, we have talked at a great deal of length about the material consciousness and its characteristics. And suffice to say that the material consciousness is the lowest level of consciousness that exists. Then what is yourself? Yourself is your real being, the real you. Yourself is that which embodies the existential consciousness of nature and the God consciousness. So yourself embodies your soul and your connection with the Most High. So meditation is a synthesis of you, the material being, with yourself, the higher being. That is the goal of meditation, and that's what makes meditation so beautiful at a spiritual level. Now let me share with you a diagram which we looked at last week, just to refresh your memories. And here, if you look at your material consciousness, the material you, I've just put some of our negative traits here. There's lots of positives, so it's not to discount us. But you know, this is where the ego, the self-center, all our, various material level traits reside. And that is you. So we all live in a world of a material consciousness which is fairly heavily influenced by all these. Okay? And yet, we also have with us ourself, which embodies the consciousness of nature, which we have learned a great deal about, and the God consciousness, which is the universal consciousness of our Creator. And when we meditate, we go from here to here. This is the process of synthesis, where you merge into yourself. And when you achieve that, you are known to have seen the light. You are known to have achieved self-realization. So this is the ultimate spiritual goal of meditation. We have covered the core purpose of meditation, which is merging the material you with your higher self. And this is the synthesis we all seek to create together. In all our classes to date, this is where we've been heading. And we have learned a lot of techniques along the journey. Now, last class we also learned the very important technique of dispassion, which is a key way of detaching ourselves from our damaging impacts of our emotions. And today we'll talk a bit more about emotions. But you will remember that by definition, dispassion is the state or quality of being unemotional or emotionally uninvolved. So dispassion is the state or quality of being unemotional or emotionally uninvolved. So when we practice dispassion, we break away from our emotions with dispassion, leaving us our focus crystal clear, because a lot of the thoughts that come and invade our focus come through our passions, which ignite our emotions. Now, I suggest you practice this technique regularly, which we learned about last week, to maintain good health, well-being, and deep focus in meditation. Use your golden broom, which we learned about, as often as you can. And in our next class on healing, we will pick up on this technique again, because it's also a very valuable healing tool. So today, now that we're talking healing, let us start by reflecting and trying to understand a bit more about illnesses and healing. Illnesses and healing. Because we need to understand the background before we practice the technique. Now, we're all aware of the different types of illnesses that exist in our world today. And we also recognize this every day, that there are new illnesses that we are discovering and beginning to suffer, which are emerging all the time. Now, on a big picture level, we have three types of illnesses. We have physical illnesses, mental illnesses, and emotional illnesses. And all these three types of illnesses, they are not exclusive. They are all completely, deeply interconnected, like a tightly wound fabric. So physical, mental, and emotional are completely connected. So for example, you have a hormone imbalance. It's a biochemical process, but it connects and impacts your mind and impacts your emotions too. So we have to consider these three key illness types as being totally interlinked. If we see one, we can't forget the other two. Wherever the source is, the root will lie in one of these three or all of them. Now let's examine physical illnesses a bit for a couple of minutes. In broad terms, once again, the commonly known physical illnesses include infections, which are caused by external threats like bacteria and viruses. They hit us the hardest when our immune system is at its weakest. And the immune system could be at its weakest for many other physiological reasons. So again, there is interconnectivity. Body is down, body is weak, body is run down, infection comes. Now, then there are genetically caused illnesses, where we inherit certain types of illnesses from our parents and ancestors, which result in imperfections of the body, which then manifest into bigger problems as we grow old. So our genetic makeup sometimes brings us some very difficult health challenges as we grow older. Cancer is potentially one such example. Sometimes our genetic makeup can be a source of cancer. Not always, but sometimes. Then we have what I call environmentally caused illnesses. And these include breathing disorders, allergies, cancers, and more. Let me give you an example. Almost 20 plus years ago, I was visiting the state of Tatarstan. This was in the 90s. At the time, they had just broken off from the Soviet Union. It was one of the satellite states. And we had gone there to provide drinking water systems for the people of the country. And I remember visiting one particular city called Nizhny. We had a meeting with the mayor and various people, and they were excited about the fact that we were coming with technology and solutions to help get them clean water. But I did not understand the extent of the water challenge they had until one of them opened a bandage and there was a hole in his hand, literally a hole. And he said, our children are born this way. We have these defects and disorders, and it hits us in all kinds of ways. And as we began to look into the water more closely, we found out that it was very rich in very toxic chemicals. So what had happened historically, before Tatarstan became an independent state, was that the central state used to dispose their hazardous materials however they saw economically most viable. And so there was a toxic waste dump some distance away from Nizhny Kamsk. That dump, a lot of the waste had broken. They had found their way into the drinking water system, the chemicals. And that began to alter people's physiology. So this was a drastic case. This was a big eye-opener for me, which is when I began to sharpen up my thinking even more about the quality of the environment and looking at technologies. But there, you see, when our environment is polluted, our bodies become polluted. We are, our body, our health is an internal reflection of the environment we see before us. We are all interconnected. Then the other environmental aspect is the way our process of evolution works. If you go back thousands of years, human beings had massive earlobes. But today we have very small earlobes. What happened? Thousands of years ago, when we had big earlobes, we needed our sense of hearing to survive because we were always under threat. Today, we don't need as sharp a sense of hearing as we did then. And so what does nature do? Nature picks up, the body communicates with nature and the environment saying, I don't need this sharp hearing. Environment comes back with evolutionary signals that alter our genetic code and reduces our ear size. Very logical. But now think. We are changing our way of life so fast that the signals coming back from nature are not fast enough. So what happens? We find that our bodies produce cells which make no sense. What are cancers? Cells that make no sense. I'm not saying this is the reason, but this is one of the reasons. So if we look at the way our body evolves, like I am today terrified when I see my children, their friends, my grandchildren, putting on these headphones with music blasting in their ears. What's going on? What is their body telling nature? That I don't need hearing at all. Because, it's like it's coming, it's right there in my ear and it's loud enough. What's going to be the shape or condition of their ears maybe 1,000 years from now? Or maybe nature speeds up, maybe 100 years from now. I don't know. But I am terrified. We as beings were created to walk barefoot on soil. And when we walk barefoot on soil, the way our feet connect with the soil massages our feet and hits all the different centers of our organs from the feet. That's what reflexology is. But walking barefoot on soft sand or mud or even on the grass, soft earth, is equal to the best reflexology massage you're ever going to get. But now, we wear shoes all the time. And our shoes are also now designed with fashion in mind. Our contact with the earth gets changed. We now, instead of living on the ground and walking on the ground, we live in tall towers. What does that do to our physiology? How does the electromagnetic field of the earth interact when we're living maybe 500 feet above or 600 feet above from the ground level? And we're wearing shoes, and our contact with the earth through our feet is drastically altered. How will that impact our health? It will. So I think that environmental aspects have to sort of be given a closer look. The other source of illness is our lifestyles. And lifestyle-induced illnesses, because lifestyle we will have habits like excessive alcohol consumption, smoking, taking drugs, sleep deprivation, extreme stress, all these aspects of our lifestyle. We even practice sports that our brains were never designed to handle. When I see people go, when we lived in the States, one of our guests who came from the UK decided he wanted to go bungee jumping. And he went down in Squaw Valley, down this huge, steep jump. And of course, bounce back, and when he got off, he couldn't even walk. And I said to him, why did you do this? He said, it was the thrill of it. But your brain is not designed for those kind of accelerations. It's going to leave an impact in you. But our entertainment offers us all these things. How will our body behave and react? So, lifestyle issues also cause illnesses. And also how we work. I remember my father telling me a story that when he was in Tanzania, one time he was in the jungle, and there was a wounded buffalo who had been shot by a hunter, but it had not died. And it saw him and just charged at him. And he ran really fast, and he got to the riverbank and he jumped. And the river had crocodiles as well, but he jumped. And he doesn't know how he jumped so far that he actually crossed the whole, that river, that width. When he landed on the other side, he looked back and went, how did I jump that? But you see, his body went into crisis mode. It started producing all the hormones, the adrenaline, everything which gave him that boost, and he jumped across a river. Now, today we are very stressed. So our body is also in that threat mode, but this energy has nowhere to go because we are sitting at a screen, looking at what's happening on the screen. And for people who trade, who do this, who do that, they're feeling all the stress, but they are seated. Where is this energy going? So again, lifestyle, get up, walk, run, release the energy. These are all aspects of, and then when people who do this fall sick because they have an overactive endocrine system, we then start looking at, well, it could be this, it could be that. No, we need to go back to the basics. And often the answers lie there. And our favorite angel Cyrus says that you are beings of holistic design. He says you are all made of holistic design. But the way you live your life is exactly the opposite. Fragmented and in disarray. Only chasing symptoms rather than dealing with the roots of your problems. Solving them and solving them in a holistic way. So you're fragmented. Okay, so this is enough about physical illnesses, and then my goal wasn't to take you into any form of medical thinking, but it's really to show you that the practical things around our world have a direct connection with our health. And when we're not well, let's start asking more questions. Let's go digging deep because we can solve from the roots. The next is mental illnesses. And there are often far more complex, mental illnesses are far more complex than physical illnesses. And they can arise from genetic factors, from biochemical imbalances in the body, or incomplete formation of certain parts of the brain or the organs. Lifestyle factors can affect our mental health, environmental factors. So these are some of the common known sources of mental illnesses, which are not so different to the physical illnesses. Now here, meditation can be of great help, and we're going to learn how. And then, finally, we have emotional illnesses, which follow similar pathways to physical and mental causes. Now, emotional illnesses, one of the most common known emotional illness is depression. And this affects people in very harsh ways, causing even further physical and mental disorders in the process. Very highly sensitive people go through sharp emotional shocks because the slightest of thing that happens around them invokes is really sharp emotions. And that is also a source of illness because it can be very damaging to the body and mind. Where does this energy go? And it's far more damaging than we realize, our emotions. Anger is a very damaging emotion. And it is in fact an illness. We're all very quick to recognize physical illnesses and we accept people with physical illnesses, but less so with mental and emotional illnesses. But angry people are actually unwell and should be treated accordingly rather than screaming back at them because it's an illness. And today in the COVID era, people have lost physical touch with each other. And this physical touch is so necessary because it governs our body's biochemistry. And the fallout we are now seeing from isolation is the increased emotional and mental illnesses, and the fallout is the lack of that contact with others, because our body is created to be able to work in all these beautiful ways. So when I asked Angel Cyrus what he thought a major driver behind emotional illnesses was, he replied with one word: attitude. A great answer, because our attitude is one of the many engines behind our emotions. Now, the good news is that with meditation, we can heal ourselves and we can help others heal from their physical, mental, and emotional challenges, because you are now working with the faculties that drive everything: physical, mental, emotional. And this is what today's and our next class is going to focus on, and we'll learn practically how to do this. So now let us move from illnesses to try and understand what meditation does in our healing process. Let us start with the impact of thought. Now, as I have mentioned in many of our previous classes, thought has life. And each time we think, we give birth to seeds. And they go and they spread in people close to us and places far away, causing events and causing reactions which ultimately find their way back to us. And we are all defined by the quality of our thoughts. Now, what are the most common things that influence our thoughts? The first is our internal health: physical, mental, and emotional. This is what Cyrus says. So your internal health is very key. And all these three can have a profound impact on your thoughts, because if you are unwell, then your thoughts are at an imbalance. You are trying to struggle with your symptoms while trying to live life. So that's one, internal health. And that we can work to heal. The other, he says, is your way of thinking and how you view yourselves internally in your relationships, in your families, societies, cultures, traditions. He says these parameters can play a very big role in how we think. These are all potential pressure points on the system, and pressure points is where damage occurs. So he says, your way of thinking. So I asked Cyrus his opinion on these factors, like what does it mean? And he says, think of your body, mind, and emotions as an orchestra. So think of your body, mind, and emotions as an orchestra. All instruments must be correctly tuned, aligned, and then played in a harmonious way. And he says, usually guided by a conductor. So your orchestra, which must work in harmony for your body, mind, and emotions to reach well-being and good health, is guided by a conductor, which is what he calls your core belief. So I asked him, what do you mean by core belief? He said it can be many things, but let me give you some examples. He said it can be your faith, religion, or belief system that guides whatever you do. Your orchestra ultimately plays the tune of your core belief, he says. So for example, and I asked him to give us some broad example, and he said, if you are a strict practitioner of your faith and its rituals, your core belief will be guided by the ethics and values of your faith. And your definition of your sense of good and bad, right or wrong, are all going to be driven by that core belief. So I said, okay, that makes sense. That's simple enough. He smiled, he continued, but it can get worse, he said. He said, if your core belief is a blend of religion and culture, then your view of the world gets a little more complicated. In what way, I asked? He said, let me give you some different ranges of examples. Well, let me give you an extreme example, and quite disturbing, is the example of honor killing. He said, there is no religion in the world that condones killing another person. And yet some primitive cultures may even permit or demand it in certain situations. And he says, I shudder at how I look at you humans and how people kill their sons and daughters in the name of honor. He said, where is the honor in any of this? Who are they trying to please by committing such crimes? Cyrus says, can you imagine the orchestra of these poor people? How difficult it must be, both the perpetrator and the victim. Think of the music that's coming from there. It must be very difficult to be living like that. He said, can you imagine how the perpetrators feel about themselves? He said, it's a very sad state. It's very sad. So you can look at people and blame them, but actually put yourself in and look at that orchestra and you'll actually start feeling very sorry for them. So Cyrus continued, now let me go to the other opposite extreme. He said there are some whose core belief is love and constant spiritual worship of their source, their creator. He said that's the other extreme. And he said these people tend to be very much at peace. They love themselves and they love others. And they generally reflect what is good in this world, and their energy changes, even changes the other people's energies for the better. Their energy is infectious. Then Cyrus said, then there is in the middle somewhere, there are people who don't believe in any organized religion and also detach from large parts of their culture and traditions. And they do this by screening out what works for them and what doesn't work for them using their intellect. They believe being a good person is sufficient. He said such people tend to be happy in the way they are, even though they do not practice any organized religion or strictly adhere to any customs and traditions. He said some of them are even spiritually connected and aware of their consciousness at levels that far exceed what one may expect. Then he says, finally, then there are the pure materially driven people. He said, these are people who worship wealth and the material world, believing that there is no life beyond this, that this material existence is all there is. And I said, I've picked wealth and I have picked, the material experience, but it can be many things. He says, they believe that someone will one day just switch a light switch off when they die, and there will be nothing that lies ahead. So they just want to maximize the material experience, often to extremes. Well, their orchestra plays very differently, Cyrus says, because their core beliefs come from the material consciousness, which makes them the lowest consciousness. Hence, their core beliefs are very shallow. And he said, bearing in mind that the material consciousness is the lowest of all consciousnesses. So Cyrus concluded his explanation by saying, you are all living together in this world with different orchestras playing side by side in each one of you. That is your world, and it will offer you the widest range of experiences because of that extreme diversity. You have to learn to manage yourself through it without damaging your health and well-being. That's your challenge. You have to recognize that negatively inclined core beliefs produce thoughts that are very negative, and that is called thought pollution. And thought pollution affects the masses. If you always see bad news, destruction, fear, your orchestra starts to play that tune. Unless your conductor is powerful enough to let you detach from all that and remain positive and at peace. Now remember, we learned about one of those conductors in our last class, which was dispassion. You practice dispassion, you disconnect. And he says, remember, thought pollution impacts all of nature because the most adversely affected is water. And in our world, everything is made up of water. And you will remember the works of Masaru Emoto, which we have looked at several times, and I've shared with you. And let me quickly share a couple of these images with you today. If you look, he used to take water, place a thought in writing under the petri dish with water, and then once the water had picked up the thought, he would freeze it, and then he would photograph the crystals that form on water. So where you have love, you see these beautiful crystals formed. Where you have words of, when you have words of worship, when you have hate, you can see this is completely distorted, pure chaos. Peace is much nicer. Love is lovely. And war, look at that. Distorted crystals. So water picks up our thought. And thought pollution, if that is what your body is being bombarded with all the time, then what is the quality of your blood? What is the condition of your organs? You need to be here, and yet you are here. Of course you're going to fall sick. But this is where, again, the techniques we will learn on meditation will teach us to stay in this zone and anchor thought into this zone and enhance our health that way. We talked about thought, quality of our blood, and our organs. And so your thoughts are a major contributor towards your health, both positive and negative. So your well-being, being governed by your thoughts, makes it imperative that your thoughts should be positive. Cyrus says, always choose the positive over the negative. He says, remember, thoughts trigger emotions constantly. And hence you can understand why so many of us are emotionally unwell today. It's all about recognizing the sources of your weaknesses and illnesses and challenges, and then working consciously to rise above them with a positive mindset. So I asked Cyrus, how do we move forward from here? What is the solution? He smiled and he said, before I give you the magic answer, let me say this. He said, all your thoughts, physical, mental, and emotional illnesses produce two types of energy. Okay, so they produce two types of energy. I said, tell me about it. He said, the negative energy is called radons. And these are low vibration energies that get blocked in your being in different places. Radons, like the color red. So I said, okay, now let's look at an illustration of what these radons do to us. So this is where you have areas of blocked energy in your body, negative energy. So these are clusters of radons. If you have stress, a lot of stress, and you release your stress in this direction, through your head, out, and it gets blocked, you will suffer migraines and all kinds of problems here. So this is one of the areas of blockage to worry about. And a lot of times when you look at your symptoms, you can look at this diagram and realize where your root problem exists, where your blockage exists, because we will learn how to remove these blockages next. Then you have blockages here under your neck, which again can arise if you have a lot of breathing disorders, if you have poor exchange of oxygen in your blood, exchange of toxins coming out of your body. Blockages can occur here. Discomfort occurs here. You sometimes feel like you choke. Sometimes you feel very uncomfortable and you keep taking deep breaths and not feel satisfied. Okay, some of it could be environmental, could be allergies, but that means also there's a blockage in this area. The other is here, which is around your chest, and if you suffer from regular or frequent chest pains after a stress bout, some will say it's angina, which it could be. Other times it's your muscles responding to that accumulation of stress, which causes you radiating pains in your chest area. Then you have blockage areas under your armpits, and a lot of times when you're suffering from cancer, this is where your lymph nodes are. So your glandular problems also begin to manifest if blockages are around here. Then you come to one of the most important parts of your body, which is your stomach, abdomen, liver, kidney, your cleansing area, which is here. A lot of us have blockages here. And so, for example, when you get very stressed and your blockage is here because your body is trying to relieve your stress through this mechanism, you will find that your intestines start pulsating. If you put your hand there, you're going to see it pulsating. And that can cause disorders in digestion. That can be a source of your irritable bowel syndrome, which most people cannot explain what's causing it. And if it gets really chronic and you keep pulsating this organ of yours, your intestines, the walls break, they get infected, you get colitis. So again, there is an energetic dimension. I'm not saying this is absolutely the reason, but there's an energetic dimension to consider when you look at what you're suffering from. The other, in the groin area, here, just like the armpits. Again, if you have blockages here, you're going to have reproductive disorders, and women, you're going to have a lot of problems with menstruation. Some people become infertile, men with prostate. This is the area to look at. So these are some of the areas of blocked energy. Now, I'm sharing this with you because when we learn today's technique and we go into next week's class, we're going to learn to eliminate these. So let's know what they are, because we know what we are seeking to eliminate. Suffice to say that these blockages can damage your organs and severely hurt your health. And they are usually the end point of a bigger cycle. Like I have just explained, a problem may have begun in one part of the body, found its way and grown, and then there's a blockage. Because remember, physical, mental, emotional are all connected. Now, people who emit radons, which are these negative thought energies, they infect others with their radons. And this is why when you're with very negative people, you run the risk of becoming negative. Sometimes you run the risk of becoming ill. If you are unable to disconnect with dispassion, you can become ill. So you have to remember that. You can't always walk away from people because you're living with them. So you learn to protect yourself, and we will also learn that in next class. Now, I know what Cyrus is saying is true because many years ago, in our company, and I'm talking maybe 30 plus years ago, we're in the technology field, we're creative people, we're looking for solutions. But I remember that we were surrounded by senior people who were very negative because they viewed everything with negativity, such negativity that we were deriving no value from their presence. In fact, they were sapping everyone else's creativity with their negativity. So we were surrounded by radons. And fortunately, I was able to recognize it. And hard as it was, we had to let them go and part as friends. Because and after they left, the whole atmosphere of our workplace changed. And we began to prosper once again in a positive environment. So what Cyrus is saying is true. But then Cyrus says, let's cheer up here. Because there's also very good news. It's not all bad news. He said the energy that produced by negative thoughts is radons, but you have also been gifted with energy that is produced by positive thoughts, which are of very high vibration. And this energy is called Azurons. Azure is the color blue, Azurons. And he said Azurons have the power to heal the body and dispel or release all radons and blockages. So let me show you an illustration of Azurons at work. You're going to like this. You've got positive energy that comes through meditation. It comes through the prayers of others who are trying to help you heal. You're creating through your mindset positive Azurons, and they flow into your body and clear all your blockages. The reds go away, and Azurons fill your being. And because they're more powerful than radons, they dispel and discharge the radons, and the radons leave you. So Azurons are generated by meditation. They are generated by anchoring yourself in a positive state of being. And When others pray for you, like in sharing hope, when we pray for others, this is what they are getting. And they are healing because they're getting a huge boost of Azurons while we pray for them. And we do it in a totally unselfish way, seeking only one thing, that is their well-being. So Azurons is a lot of good news for us. And that's where we want to focus our life and our dimension. So people who emit Azurons, they spread positive energy. They make others around them feel positive. Their energy heals themselves and others. So you need more people in this world emitting Azurons than radons. That's what Cyrus says. And he says at the moment, the radons are in majority. But remember, Azurons are considerably more powerful than radons. He says when you look at Masaru Emoto's photography of water and the crystalline shapes, now you will be able to identify where the radons are and Azurons are. You see? This is radons. Low-level energies, unable to produce any crystalline shape. If you remember last time I talked of using a dot matrix printer that can only give you a few dots. That's radons. Weak, helpless, but damaging. And then after we do our meditation, after we do our healing, and what technique you learned today, these are gone, you're going to be here, filled with Azurons. And this is where we are all most powerful. This is where we are all able to heal ourselves, and we are able to pray and help heal others. As I said, radons are of very low vibrations, too low to produce a crystalline shape, and hence you see pure chaos. Azurons are of high vibration, and hence they shape the crystals of water. So they manifest so richly with deep perfection in water. Now let's look at the Azuron wave that is created during healing. And we will come back to this screen, this illustration, even in our next class, because it's a part of our healing technique which I'm going to expand upon. Your illness, which is a radon, your illness has low vibration, see? And this is the red one. Now, when you start healing yourself and you sit and you contemplate about your illness at a mental level, your higher self produces Azurons in the form of a healing wave which attach to this wave. So you end up with circles. And these circles can be broken. And also these circles yield the number 8. And 8 is a very key number in healing, and we will talk more about it as we go further. But the 8 has a tremendous power. In a lot of ancient traditions, when you talk of healing, the shape of 8 is key. And here you can see once this negative and this positive comes together, this wave collapses into this one. And you end up with almost a flat line, illness gone, body healed, mind healed, emotions healed. As I said, the blue wave is the Azuron wave. And look up ancient techniques of healing, including many that are practiced today by people. You will find that the Azuron wave is key. They don't call it the Azuron wave, but it comes back to forming that number 8 by binding with the negative waves. And everything occurs by breaking these waves into circles. And you will see some traditional massages, they do circular healing. They go over your body in a circular way. Energetic massages go over your body in a circular way. And that kind of experienced masseuse who gives you that circular healing makes you feel phenomenal. This is why. And if you go for the deeper, more powerful, meditative healings, then the practitioner, if he or she is massaging you, will massage you in the number 8. And you often wonder why they're doing that. That's because they're invoking that power of the number 8. They're taking the negative and positive through that chain of 8 and breaking it all up. So that's something for you to think about, number 8. And we'll look at this more in our next class. But again, planting seeds of understanding. Now let me show you one final illustration on this subject, which is how the Azuron wave works in healing. We saw the number 8. Now there's a different illustration which I'd like you to think about, and it's this one. So here you've got the vibration of an illness, low level. Before you saw the wave of the same size forming the number 8. But when you go deep into your meditation, you can produce very high level healing vibrations, very high level, far more than the number 8. And what that does is it disrupts this entire wave and makes them into these circles, and the radons leave your body. Now, what is this about? When you go into deep, pure spiritual focus, and you reach that zone of nothingness, and it's just you and your source, your body secretes a wax, which I talked about last time. And this wax is so powerful that it heals your body, it reverses your aging as well. And this is the wax, this is the vibration of the wax. So it completely just destroys this wave into these circles and it leaves you. Another source of this healing vibration is when we get together in sharing hope, for example. There is 400, 500 of us focusing. We've received prayer requests, we've thought about these people, we've thought about the challenges, we've thought about seeking to unselfishly invoke the mercy of healing. We as a collective group and others like us, our meditation gives waves like these, which literally go in and disrupt illnesses in people far away who may never even know we exist, may never even know we prayed for them. Suddenly they start feeling well, and their bodies are highly receptive. Now we may offer these waves also, they have to be receptive, but a lot of times it happens at a subconscious level. These are the high-powered waves we're talking about, and we all should be seeking to be able to live with such high levels of vibration in our being. So now you can understand how you actually can help people heal far away, or help yourself heal by going into that deep state and then invoking the blessing of healing. So then we come back to Cyrus. And so I said to him, okay, now, so you've told us all about radons, azurons, but what is the magic answer? And he winked and he replied, simple, meditation. He said, go still, raise your vibrations, and then use your anchored thought to anchor yourself in gardens filled with azurons. If you anchor there, then that becomes your predominant state of being. You are then a living epitome of great positivity and azurons. And you are able to help so many others. But he says, you will often slip into negative states of being because of the way life works. But snap out of your negativity as soon as you realize it is present. And then he said, if you are sick and unwell, use meditation to release your blockages and get rid of the radons from your being. And then draw in the azurons that heal you and let them remain with you always. So I said, okay, Cyrus, thank you very much for your amazing wisdom. Great insights for us all to consider. And our friends Cyrus and Luminous, they're just amazing. They're full of gems of knowledge. So it's almost humbling to hear their insights. So before we go into learning the meditation technique, I'm going to summarize for you our understanding of physical, mental, and emotional challenges as follows. 1. Illnesses can be caused by a number of different factors. And you can, if you wish, listen to the recordings of our previous webinars to try and understand some of the causes of these illnesses. And maybe when this recording is out, God willing, listen to my previous explanation early on a few minutes ago. Number 2, regardless of the source of illness, the very process of suffering impacts our mind and emotions. If they impact them in a manner that causes energetic blockages, usually of a negative type, and you saw the illustration of the different blockages. Number 3, we can also bring about illnesses in our body through extreme emotions, through being highly sensitive, through being overly self-centered, or through our lifestyles and many other factors. All these can culminate in energetic blockages in different parts of our bodies, and so we have to, as we showed in that illustration, break them up. Now, to achieve healing ourselves through meditation, we will follow 4 steps. So let's now get ready for these 4 steps. First step is to contemplate the illness or health challenge you seek to resolve. So you sit there, you contemplate, you think about the illness. So you set your intention. Second is alignment of the 6 key energy fields or focal points in our body. And we will look at them now. Third, cleansing and releasing of all energetic blockages associated with our illness, present or potentially in the future. So we need to cleanse and release all energetic blockages. And 4 is healing of our body, mind, and emotions. These are the 4 steps. Contemplate your illness, align your energy fields, cleanse and release all the energetic blockages from your illnesses, and then finally heal your body, mind, and emotions. 4 steps. So every practice is technique, remember, there are 4 key steps. Now, let us start with practicing today's meditation technique for alignment, cleansing, and healing. So that's what it is, alignment, cleansing, and healing. Now the first step is to sit back and think about your illness or health challenge that you wish to resolve through meditation. This sets your objective and intention for your meditation. If you don't know what is wrong, just think of your symptoms or how you are feeling about it. Now this contemplation actually helps create that blue wave I showed you in the number 8. So as you contemplate, your mind is showing you is thinking of the red wave. Your higher self is producing the blue wave that meets and helps you heal. So that then, once the blue wave converts the red wave into a circle, you release it in your meditation, as we do next. Then, so take 1 to 2 minutes for your contemplation, because it's very important. Set your intention, set your understanding, invoke the start of the blue wave, the start of the Azuron process coming to you. Step 2. Now before we start step 2, I need you to take a moment and decide on the name of your creator before we start. Through these steps, 2, 3, and 4, I will use the word light, but you will use whatever name you believe your source is. Could be God, Allah, Krishna, Christ, Father, universe, nature, whatever your beliefs are. So take a moment now and choose your word. A word that you totally believe represents your source. And now repeat this word in your mind for a few more moments. Just take a few seconds. Just repeat that word. So, if your word is, for example, God, when I say heal in the name of the light, from within you will be saying heal in the name of God. If it is universe, you will say heal in the name of the universe. So I will use light. If you choose to remain with light, you stay with light. Same word. So now we are ready to begin. Now let me show you the 6 energy fields that we are going to meditate with. But today I want you to understand the 6 fields. So you start with the light field, which is your superconscious, which starts in the middle of your forehead and connects with the universe. This is the light. This is your soul, the God consciousness, the existential consciousness, all here. Your most powerful field is your light field. Your third eye also is here. Then you come down to the next field, which is the sensory field, which occupies your mind, your brain, the control center for your body. All that is in your sensory field here. And this has a big impact on your thoughts, your emotions, your biochemistry of your body. So the sensory field is actually one of the big sources of a lot of problems that go lower down. Then you connect down here to the field of air, which is the field that governs your breathing, your lungs, the intake of oxygen, taking all the carbon dioxide and toxins from your blood and releasing them out of your body. So all movement of gases is controlled by the field of air. Then you have the field of flow, which governs all the flow of fluids in your body. So it's your heart pumping your blood, it's your circulation system, it is your lymphatic system, everything, all the fluids that flow in your body, that bring you nourishment and take away your toxins. That's governed by the field of flow. Then you come to this very important field, which is the field of cleansing, which includes your liver, your intestines, your kidneys, all the organs that cleanse and detoxify your body. That's your field of cleansing. And finally, that's the earth field, which is the field that grounds you to the earth. Now, when you're aligned, and this is what we're going to practice in our meditation, we're going to align ourselves along this axis. Today, if this sensory field is off to the left, your alignment is lost, all these are in trouble. Or if your air field is off, the rest of your centers are in trouble, including your sensory field and your brain, because of the oxygen supply. If any one of these is not aligned, it disrupts your health. So we are going to learn today and in next class to align this. And today we are going to learn to do it through meditation. In future classes, I will even show you a physical technique as well, which goes with the meditation. So these are the fields. Remember, light, sensory, air, flow, cleansing, and earth. Okay? In our meditation, we are going to talk about golden balls. So each field, as you saw, had that golden circle. And then you had that golden thread that connects them all together. So I'm going to talk about, a golden ball in each field. Now I've just found an image that might help you visualize that golden ball. This is what it looks like. Don't worry about the blacks, but it's literally, that's a golden ball. And that's the golden thread I'm going to talk about in the meditation. So when I tell you that there's a golden ball in between your feet and it's your earth field, that's your golden ball. When you go up higher in meditation and you go to your cleansing field, then this connects with a golden thread to the next ball. Okay? So take a good look at this diagram. So now let's practice the alignment technique, and let's practice the self-healing technique today from beginning to end, part 1. So sit back, close your eyes, be completely relaxed, and breathe freely. Let go of all your stresses and strains and breathe freely. be at complete peace. Complete peace. And be completely still. Be in pure stillness. I'd like you to imagine you're standing on a tall cliff in front of the ocean. So you're standing on this cliff and you look in front of you and you see the deep blue ocean below you. And it's a clear sky. And then you start looking away from yourself, go past the ocean, until you reach the horizon, where the ocean meets the sky. And that is the limit of your eyes, of your vision in this material world. So look at the cliff, look at the ocean, look at the horizon. And let your eyes go all the way to the horizon. And then from the horizon, you work backwards to yourself. So you start coming back from the horizon, over the water, until you're back at the cliff and you look down, and between your feet you see a golden ball. And this golden ball represents your earth field. And this golden ball has attached to it a golden thread. And you follow this thread as you go up and you come to the next golden ball, which is your field of cleansing, where all your body's cleansing organs are in your abdominal area. So now you have the golden ball in the earth field, a golden thread that connects to your field of cleansing. And there is your second golden ball. And then you go up the thread and you see the third golden ball, which is in the center of your chest, where your heart is. And that is your field of flow. It governs the flow of all your bodily fluids and your heart. And then you go up the golden thread, and then you come to the fourth field, which is at the base of your neck. And now you see the fourth golden ball, which is the field of air that governs the flow of oxygen as you breathe, releases all your toxins, carbon dioxide through your field of air. Then you follow the golden thread because they're all connected. You follow the golden thread and you come to the fifth ball, which is in the center of your face. And this is your sensory field, where all your five senses are: your brain, your mind, your emotions. They are all in your sensory field. And that's the fifth golden ball. And finally you rise to the sixth golden ball, which is your field of light, which is your superconsciousness, your soul, your God consciousness, your connection with your Creator. So these six balls are all in one line, connected by a golden thread. And in the field of light, you repeat the word light, light, light. And you connect with your field of light. And you draw all the light you can as you repeat light, light, light. Keep repeating the word light for a couple of moments. And then you take this light and you go down that golden thread until you come to your sensory field, which is your brain, your mind, your emotions, your senses. And you fill that golden ball and your sensory field with light. Light, light. So you've taken the light from your light field and brought it down to your sensory field, filling it all with light. And then you go lower down to your field of air, and you fill that with light, light, light. So the light is flowing from your light field to your sensory field to your air field, where all your breathing and respiration resides. And then you take the light to the next field, which is your field of flow, which is your heart and all your bodily fluids, as you repeat, light, light, light. And the light is flowing from your light field, filling your sensory field with light, filling your air field with light, filling your heart and field of flow with light. And then you go lower down to the next golden ball, which is your field of cleansing, where again you fill your field of cleansing with light, light, light. And now your being is filled with light, from your light field to your sensory field to your air, flow, and cleansing field. They're all filled with light. And then finally you go to the last bowl, which is in between your feet, which is the field of the earth. So you're taking the light now to the earth field. And this way, when you're at your earth field, you repeat light, light, light. You have now built the axis of light from the center of your forehead all the way down to between your feet. And it's all filled with light. Every field is filled with light. And now you're ready to align. So you start in your light field again, and you repeat, align in the name of the light. And you can choose whatever name you wish for the light. Align in the name of the light. Align, align, align. And you come down from the light field into your sensory field. And you repeat, align in the name of the light. Align, align, align. And then you come down to your air field. And you repeat, align in the name of the light. Align, align, align. And you come to the field of flow, and you repeat, align in the name of the light. Align, align, align. And you come to your cleansing field, where you repeat, align in the name of the light. Align, align, align. And finally you go down to your earth field, to the golden bowl between your feet, and you repeat, align in the name of the light. Align, align, align. You are now completely aligned from your light field all the way down to your earth field. All your fields are filled with light. All are completely aligned. So now you are ready to go to the next step. And the next step is to cleanse all the illnesses and blockages from your being. So you start at the light field again, and you repeat, cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse and release all illnesses. Cleanse and release all blockages in the name of the light. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. And then you come down to your sensory field, and you repeat, cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Cleanse and release all illness. Cleanse and release all blockage. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Cleanse your mind, your emotions, your brain, all. Cleanse and release all blockages. And then you come down to the field of air, where you repeat, cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Cleanse and release all illnesses. Cleanse and release all blockages. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. And then you come to the field of flow in your heart area and you repeat, cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. Cleanse and release all blockages. Cleanse and release all illness. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. And then you come down to the field of cleansing, where you repeat, cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse and release all blockage. Cleanse and release all illness. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. And finally you come down past your reproductive system down to the earth field, where you repeat, cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse in the name of the light. Cleanse, cleanse. Cleanse and release all illnesses. Cleanse and release all blockages. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse. You have cleansed all your fields, fully aligned. You have released all your illnesses and blockages in the name of the light. And now it is time to heal. And you go back to your field of light where you repeat, heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. Heal, heal, heal. And you take the blessing of healing from the light to your sensory field, to your mind, emotions, brain, senses. And you repeat, heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. Heal, heal, heal. Heal all your sensory field. Heal, heal. Then you come down to the field of air and you repeat, heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. Heal, heal, heal. And you go to the next field, which is your field of flow, the next golden ball. You repeat, heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. Heal, heal, heal. And then you come to the field of cleansing and you repeat, heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. Heal, heal, heal. And finally you come down to the earth field where you repeat, heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. Heal, heal, heal. The light of healing is flowing from your light field, filling your sensory field, filling your air field and your breathing, filling your heart and your field of flow, filling your cleansing field, and all the way to your earth field. Heal in the name of the light. Heal in the name of the light. Heal, heal, heal. You healed your body, your mind, your emotions. And now it is time to set everything to peace. So you go back to the light field and you repeat, peace in the name of the light. Peace, peace, peace. And you take this peace into your sensory field and you go, peace in the name of the light. Peace, peace, peace. Your mind, fill your mind with peace. Your thoughts, your emotions, your senses, fill it all with peace, peace, peace. And then you go to your field of air and you repeat peace in the name of the light. Peace, peace. And then you take this peace to your field of flow, where you repeat, peace in the name of the light. Peace, peace, peace. And then you take this peace to your cleansing field, where you go, peace in the name of the light. Peace, peace. Finally, you reach your earth field, where you repeat, peace in the name of the light. Peace, peace, peace. As the peace flows from your light field all through your being, all through the 6 fields, all the way to the earth, you are at complete peace. You're healing, you're at peace. You're cleansed, and you conclude with gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. As you start with gratitude from your light field to your Creator, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. You come to your sensory field, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Then you come to your field of air, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Field of flow, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Then you come to your field of cleansing, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. And finally you come to the field of earth, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. You are filled with gratitude for the blessing of cleansing, light, healing, peace, gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. You are now fully aligned. Gratitude, gratitude. You may open your eyes when you wish. This is how we align ourselves. And God willing, we will have this video ready for you soon so you can practice it. But I'd like to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to each one of you for being here, for participating in this healing technique so that you will be able to heal yourselves and, God willing, help many, many others heal, which we will learn about in our next class. So take care. I pray the light of the Creator always be with you, to help you, protect you, guide you, and love you. Stay blessed and see you at the Sharing Hope next Saturday.